It is day 158 of the second Trump administration. Earlier today, senators finally got their first classified briefing on Donald Trump's Iran strikes from White House leaders, including Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio. At a news conference, the defense secretary praised the strikes while repeatedly attacking the media for reporting on an early intelligence report. And NBC News reports that the White House is now planning to limit intelligence sharing. This is important. Please pay attention. Limit intelligence sharing with members of Congress after that analysis was leaked earlier this week. My colleague Gabe Gutierrez has the details.
Tonight, the Pentagon revealing new details of that secretive mission, the B-2 bomber cruise that targeted Iranian nuclear sites with 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs.
When the crews went to work on Friday, they kissed their loved ones goodbye, not knowing when or if they'd be home.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs saying it was 15 years in the making, showing footage of the bombs being tested, saying it all went according to plan.
The weapons all guided to their intended targets.
Anyone with, two eyes, some ears, and a brain can recognize that kind of firepower with that specificity at that location and others is going to have a devastating effect.
It all comes after a leaked initial assessment from the Defense Intelligence Agency suggested Iran's nuclear program was set back by just months. But the agency also saying it had low confidence in its initial findings. Well, today, the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog said the Iranian nuclear program has suffered enormous damage, and centrifuges at the Fordo site are no longer operational. The Joint Chiefs chairman revealing the B-2 pilot's own description of their nighttime mission's impact.
The pilot stated, quote, "This was the brightest explosion that I've ever seen. It literally looked like daylight."
Despite images showing trucks outside a nuclear site the day before, today the president insisted Iran did not move any uranium.
How can the president be so sure that no uranium was moved?
We were watching closely, and there was no indication to the United States that any of that enriched uranium was moved prior to the strike.
With that, let's get smarter with the help of our lead-off panel tonight. John Allen joins us, senior national politics reporter for NBC. Peter Baker, chief White House correspondent for The New York Times. And Michael Schnell, congressional reporter for The Hill. Peter, start us off with that news conference earlier today. It was interesting to say the least. On one hand, you have got Pete Hegseth in pure attack mode going after journalists, while the chairman of the Joint Chiefs spent 17 minutes explaining in detail exactly what the media is asking for, what the media did, how the operation worked, giving us actual information and context. What's your reaction to that split screen?
Well, look, Secretary Hegseth is performing for an audience of one, right? The president has already made clear that he's angry about that intelligence report. He's choosing to blame the media for reporting accurately on what that intelligence report said, whether the intelligence was correct or not, whether the intelligence is supplanted by further intelligence later, whether other intelligence agencies come up with a different conclusion. That doesn't change the reporting by the media, but the media is a convenient target. It always is, and particularly for this particular president. This president does not want anybody to think that this operation was anything other than a complete and total success. He doesn't want to look at intelligence that might say the contrary, in part because I think he wants to declare it over and move on. He's got other things on his mind. He's got other things on his priority list. He doesn't really feel all that excited about getting into a Middle East war. Remember how much he was taking heat from his MAGA base about the possibility of an extended military operation there. He'd like to be able to say, look, the intelligence says it's all over. We don't need to do anything else. One and done, and we're out of here. Any intelligence to the contrary works against that narrative. So he's blaming the reporters for what the intelligence agencies were reporting to him.
John, what makes no sense to me is what the president seems to be doing is harping on this one point, almost like he's unwilling to say what most experts are saying, that we do not know exactly how much damage was done, and we won't for some time. Two things can be true. The Iran strikes were a success, and it'll take time to figure out exactly how much of a success. He won't seem to operate in this universe of fact.
You stole my line, the two things that can be true. I mean, that's obviously what's going on here, Steph. I mean, you've got a president who went out on Truth Social and said that the nuclear program had been completely obliterated. And then there's reporting from that Defense Intelligence Agency report that suggests that perhaps it didn't completely destroy everything, destroy the entire program. And then the lecture that the media get from the administration is that it takes much longer to figure out what the full assessment is than what the government's own report was that was subsequent to Donald Trump saying it was completely obliterated. And I guess what I would say is Donald Trump is trying to sell something, and, you know, it's not necessarily exactly what he said. But obviously, the military operation was a success. They went to hit those 3 sites. They hit them pretty hard. That is a success. Whether or not that means Iran is 6 months away, 3 months away, a year away, 10 years away from having an operable nuclear weapon, I think it will take some time to judge.
But, John, isn't that the thing that makes no sense? He's stepping on his own win. Yes.
He is stepping on his own win, but I think for a lot of Americans, particularly the folks that listen to him on Truth Social or watch him on television, which is, I mean, we're talking about literally hundreds of millions of Americans through the various outlets. That's the story they're going to hear. And, you know, for some people, they will want to know what the actual truth is. And the truth may be that what he said is closer to right than wrong, but it will continue to sow doubt, create doubt, and you know, we'll eventually again have an actual answer. But Donald Trump has gotten out there first with the strong statement and continues to stick by it, no matter what evidence might be presented alternative to it.
Michael, what are you hearing from senators after today's briefing?
It was a real split screen, Stephanie. You heard from a number of Democrats, and to the points that have been made, saying that this was a successful attack. As John noted, there were 3 targets. They were hit significantly. But the question is how significantly, and that is still under the microscope. Senator Blumenthal had said that exactly, saying that if anyone says that they know how much these sites were impacted at this moment, they're lying because the intelligence is still going through it. I think what Peter said is an interesting point, and what a lot of folks on Capitol Hill are thinking about. The reason why the extent of the damage that has been done has been so in the headlines and of conversation is because there are likely going to be a number of Republicans on Capitol Hill who want additional strikes on some of these sites if the entire nuclear program was not completely obliterated, as President Trump has said. That's certainly a concern that Democrats are having right now, that based on the final intelligence report, what the future will look like. And for President Trump, we saw him contemplate this decision of whether or not to strike these nuclear targets in Iran for quite some time. So perhaps he's fighting the narrative to try to hone in on the narrative that these were successful strikes to try to prevent another decision to have to be made. But certainly that's a conversation on Capitol Hill of, depending on what this intelligence analysis looks like, what does the future look like for U.S. intervention in Iran?
So Israel is also now saying the strikes were a huge success. And Peter, I want to dig into that, because Donald Trump is obviously motivated to tell us that the strikes were a huge success. But does Israel have that same motivation? Because there's a big chance that if the nuclear program is even remotely okay, Israel's going to want to strike again. So doesn't it support Donald Trump's argument that Israel is now in his camp saying, yeah, this thing really worked? Because if it wasn't, they'd want to attack again soon.
Right. The Israeli assessments do support Donald Trump's argument. Of course, Israeli intelligence is very good. We've seen that in the recent weeks of just how good they have been in terms of their ability to target some of these Iranian facilities and high-level personnel in their own military operations. So you have to take that seriously. At the same time, they are, of course, motivated to back up the president politically because they want to keep the president in their camp. The fact that the president went ahead and ordered this operation was incredibly important to Israel, because most assessments say that the Israelis did not have the capacity to destroy or even damage the Fordo facility, which is buried underneath the mountain. Only the United States has the power to do so. So keeping the president happy, keeping the president engaged, keeping the president feeling like he did something really good is important politically for Israel as well. But you're right. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, this could be set back months. It could be set back years. Some people say, look, even setting back years is still not good enough, that we have to, of course, eliminate it permanently, and ultimately permanently would suggest a diplomatic solution if they can simply rebuild it over time. This is the question that a lot of people are going to be asking. What is Iran's calculation at this point? Is it worth it to them to try to continue to create a nuclear bomb, to race, in fact, for nuclear bomb, because they may take from this that the only defense they ever have is a nuclear capacity? Or do they say this is just too much of a cost, it's time to find a way to get out of this?